Hi guys, Drew here, back with another video, and this may be one of the longer videos on my channel, but I am really excited for this video, to be honest with you. In this video, I will be discussing my top 32 favorite NHL broadcasts from every team, 32 to 1. If you were curious, you may be wondering, hey Drew, does ESPN count, like their broadcast that they do for some games? No, they don't really count. Those Hockey Night in Canada games say John Bartlett, Gary Galley's out calling the Habs game. No, Brian Mudryk is the Habs main play-by-play guy, and I'm just gonna be doing the main play-by-play guys. Like if you're going on NHL highlights, these are the play-by-play guys that you'll probably know the best. Now, there are some color commentary guides I mentioned in this video, so a quick note of that, but mainly in this I'm going to be discussing the play-by-play. So I'm going to get started. I'm going to try to be as quick as I can. We'll see how quick that can be, but I'm going to get started. I'm going to go down 32 to 1. At number 32, it used to be the Boston Bruins, now it's the Colorado Avalanche. Altitude Sports broadcasts their games. They're the only Altitude Sports only broadcasts the Colorado Avalanche. Their play-by-play broadcaster is Mark Moser. Reason why I have him at 32, he's a little too biased towards the Avalanche. I mean, Altitude Sports, mainly Colorado's broadcast. If it was, say, an ESPN broadcast, say Mark Moser was doing it over there, probably would be less biased. But he's kind of he's a little biased. He gets a little excited when the Avalanche score, and when the other team scores, he just scores, and it isn't that much exciting. So I have Mark Moser, Altitude Sports, Colorado Avalanche at number 32. Hopefully you agree with that. I think that's pretty good. This is a very tight list, by the way. There are no bad broadcasters in the NHL. Making the NHL broadcasting is like a dream of mine. So hopefully all these guys are good because they made the NHL basically. And at number 31, you may disagree with me. There's a lot that you may disagree with me in this list, actually. But at number 31, I have the Philadelphia Flyers. NBC broadcasts their games, and Tim Saunders is their play-by-play guy. I don't know why. I just find when I watch Flyers games, not only is the play boring, the play-by-play is a little boring as well. Honestly, at least I think Tim Saunders doesn't bring much excitement. He's just pretty straightforward what's going on the ice, which is fair. I respect. But Tim Saunders, NBC, I just have it 31 for Philly. So I think that's pretty respectful, and I think at least he's still a good play-by-play guy though. As I said before. At number 30, I have the LA Kings, and the people that broadcast their games are FanDuel Sports Network, formerly Bally Sports. Nick Nixon broadcasts their games. This is actually his final year doing play-by-play. He's a newly play-by-play guy. He used to do the radio network. Now he's doing play-by-play. Alex Faust for the Kings was unbelievable. He was probably their best play-by-play guy. Firing him wasn't the right move in my opinion. And Nick Nixon, he's done well, but I just don't think he's done that great. I mean, his voice doesn't sound that great either, to be honest with you. I mean, with play-by-play, you're going to want to have a good radio voice, I should say. And he just doesn't really have that, at least I think. But yeah, he's all right. I mean, if I'm listening to a Kings game, he can kind of put it on a show. So yeah, Nick Nixon, FanDuel Sports at number 30. At number 29, I have another new broadcaster, and that's Mike Maniscalco for the Carolina Hurricanes at number 29. FanDuel Sports broadcasts their games, and I mean, John Forsland used to do Carolina Hurricanes games. He's high on this list, I'll tell you that much. But Mike Maniscalco, he's been all right. As same thing for Nick Nixon, he kind of has that weird voice tone in his voice. I find at least. I just think that he doesn't sound great on the broadcast in my opinion. He isn't biased or anything like that, but he is still a really good play-by-play guy. Maniscalco is. But yeah, that's who I have at 29, the Carolina Hurricanes. At number 28, I have the Anaheim Ducks, who are the first Victory Plus broadcast, I'll say, this year. And their play-by-play guy is John Ehlers. I don't know. I'm not too big of a fan of him. There are a lot of people that really like John Ehlers. I'm just not that big of a fan of him. Similar to Tim Saunders, he's a little boring with his broadcasts. You can fall asleep listening to him play, and I mean that the Ducks can make you fall asleep as well. But I mean, John Ehlers, he's all right, I'll say. He's just in that mid tier for broadcasters in the NHL. Yeah, as I said, Tim Saunders and John Ehlers, pretty much the same type of guys. But yeah, I just have them both at similar realm in a similar area. At number 27, I have the St. Louis Blues, and I know there's a lot of people that aren't going to like this. I have John Kelly from FanDuel Sports at number 27. I just don't really like John Kelly that much. He, similar to Tim Saunders, John Ayers, he's a little boring, can put up a snooze fest, but he is a really good play-by-play guy, I'll say. Really good. One of the Blues, probably one of the Blues legends for broadcasting. He called that 2019 game when the Blues won in Game 7, and he's honestly really remembered by the NHL broadcasts and all that kind of stuff. And he's near the end of his career. He's getting a little older up in age. John Kelly is. But yeah, he's all right, I'll say, for now. And yeah, just the Blues aren't that great either, so that may be a factor as well. Can make the game boring. At number 26, I have a new broadcaster, kind of. Is the Calgary Flames. Sportsnet broadcasts their games, and John Abbott does the play-by-play. If you don't know who that is, he basically did a bit of Senators games last year for TSN, but this year he's moved to Sportsnet, replacing Rick Ball and doing the play-by-play for the Flames. He's really good, honestly. I've really enjoyed his play-by-play so far, but I just don't think the guys ahead of him are better, are worse than him, I should say. And yeah, John Abbott, he's really good. He's a really good play-by-play guy. I can see him going far and becoming one of the better play-by-play guys in history. But as the year goes to go for him and forward, he's going to get even better than that. So yeah, he's been all right, but the guys that are ahead of him, I just don't think are worse. At number 25, I have the New Jersey Devils. MSG Networks broadcast their games, and their play-by-play is Bill Spalding. But one of the main reasons why I have New Jersey this high is because of Ken Danico. Ken Danico was a really big heavyweight in the NHL, but he's awesome doing color for the New Jersey Devils. What he does with them is absolutely insane. He's unbelievable, I should say. But yeah, Ken Danico, he's the main reason why I have New Jersey this high. Their play-by-play guy, Bill Spalding, he's alright. Yeah, he's basically a classic play-by-play guy, I should say. But yeah, Ken Danico is the main reason why I have him this high. At number 24, I have the San Jose Sharks. NBC broadcast their games, and Randy Hand does the play-by-play. He's alright once again. Not too bad, Randy Hand is. He can get a lot, if the game gets close, he can make the game really exciting. But I mean, with the Sharks team, they aren't playing that great. But I mean, from the broadcast point, he's pretty good. From the games that he has to broadcast, not that good, which makes the games a little bit boring for him to call. At number 23, I have the Vancouver Canucks. Sportsnet broadcasts their games, and John Shorthouse does their play-by-play. Out of Sportsnet broadcasters, I think John Shorthouse may be one of the worst ones, in my opinion. By the way, my next video, or maybe in videos to come, will be ranking all the Sportsnet, TSN, all those broadcasters. Maybe, I'm not sure. We'll see what happens. But I mean, John Shorthouse, he still does great with Canucks. He did their first round last year, and then got replaced by Harren and Singh in the second round. I mean, he's pretty solid, I'll say, for the Canucks, and maybe he'll do even better in the next few years. But he is getting up there in age, I should say. But yeah, Vancouver, they're a good team, so good broadcast all in all. But yeah, John Shorthouse at 23 in my opinion. At number 22, I have the Minnesota Wild. FanDuel Sports broadcast their games. And honestly, this broadcaster may have the best name out of anybody here, Anthony LaPanta, or LaPanta. I'm not sure. Maybe that's Italian. Maybe that's, I don't know, Swedish. Well, I don't know. Well, it's just a good name. And yeah, he puts on a show as well. I kind of like his voice. He has a pretty solid voice on the mic. And also Minnesota, they're really good this year. So those games are a little more exciting. But yeah, the main factor, I like his voice. I really like his voice on the broadcast, which is why Minnesota has those good broadcasts on FanDuel Sports. At number 21, I have the Dallas Stars, which could be good for you, like really high, or could be really bad, and we all know why. These games are broadcasted on Victory Plus this year. It isn't because of Josh Bogorad, their play-by-play guy. It's because of Daryl Ray. The color commentary guy can come up with those random sayings that you've never heard before, and some things you don't even know what those words mean. You may be like, what is this word? You'll Google it, and soon enough, it's actually what it means. Sometimes, like, say, Wyatt Johnson is absolutely doing good against the Minnesota Wild. He once said Wyatt Johnson is coming down the esophagus of the Wild's throat. There was another one that was like a diarrhea-infected goose. I might get canceled for saying that, but That is pretty wild. Daryl Ray, shout out to you for having the guts to say that on a broadcast where there's a lot of people watching it. But yeah, that's the main reason why I kind of have them low, but I kind of have them high as well. At number 20, I have a team that I never think I'd put at 20. If this was last year, it would guaranteed be right at 32. That's the Boston Bruins. Their broadcasts are on NESN, and their play-by-play guy is Judd Surratt, and for their color commentary is Andy Brickley. So they're both pretty well. I mean, Andy Brickley I always loved, but their main problem was Jack Edwards on the play-by-play. He was a legendary Bruins broadcaster, all in all. He was there for a very long time. But man, did I hate Jack Edwards for his he was such a homer regarding the Bruins. A fight would happen, he'd get so excited if the Bruins won, and he'd end up crying if the Bruins lost. He's been on Reddit this year complaining about chirping some other fans that aren't cheering against the Bruins. He was wearing a Bruins jersey, I believe, once on the broadcast. He's that biased towards the Bruins. But Judd Surratt's done really well replacing the spot of Jack Edwards. He isn't that biased towards the Bruins. And I'm not too sure about how he says when they score. He's like, "That's score!" Like he sounds like a radio dude, which isn't bad, but I don't even know what that impression was, by the way. I don't even know. But Judd Surratt, he's pretty good, but Andy Brickley is one of the main reasons why they're that high. At number 19, I have the Nashville Predators. FanDuel Sports does their games, and Willie Donick does their play-by-play. He's pretty good. I like his main saying in the broadcast. He'll go like, "Yes, sir." I love when he does that. But yeah, Nashville's broadcasts, they're pretty exciting. Nashville this year isn't too exciting, but still watching the broadcast is still exciting. Unlike some guys like Tim Saunders or Anaheim's John Ehlers. Nashville's broadcasts are really good, I think, at least, and they make those games really exciting to watch. At number 18, I have another new play-by-play guy, and it's for the Buffalo Sabres, and their broadcasts are on MSG, and their play-by-play guy is Dan Dunleavy, and their color commentator is Rob Ray. You may know Rob Ray if you were a fan back in the 1980s, 1990s. He was a massive heavyweight, fought Ty Domi like a million times. Yeah, Rob Ray's unbelievable doing color commentary, and honestly, Dan Dunleavy, he's really good. My favorite saying that I'd say was last year. Was when Jeff Skinner scored like his one OT winner. He'd go like, Skinner, overtime winner. I loved when he did that. I absolutely loved it. And yeah, so now Skinner's not on the Sabres, so he's not gonna be able to say that. But I mean, he's still good at what he does. And I mean, replacing the spot of Rick Jeanneret, which is probably the best broadcaster in NHL history, in my opinion. I don't think that's too bold to say. And obviously RIP to Rick Jeanneret. But yeah, Dan Dunleavy, unbelievable for what he does. At number 17, I have the Utah Hockey Club. Their play-by-play guy is Matt McConnell. This game, their broadcasts are broadcasted on SEG Media. Matt McConnell, was really good for the Coyotes as well. But I really like their color commentator Dominic Moore. He does really well with what he does. He used to be on ESPN, I believe. But yeah, Matt McConnell does really well for what he does for Utah, and that's why I have them at number 17. At number 16, this is a guy that I kind of wanted to put high. I really like his style of broadcasting when the team that you watch can put you to bed. That's the New York Islanders. Their broadcasts are broadcast on MSG, and Brendan Burke does their play-by-play. Brendan Burke doesn't only do play-by-play for MSG, he's on TNT as well. He does really well with the play-by-play he does. But yeah, Brendan Burke is really exciting with the broadcast he does when the Islanders aren't so exciting themselves. But yeah, Brendan Burke, unbelievable play-by-play guy, and hopefully he keeps it up, because I believe he's still young as well. So he'll have a lot more play-by-play to do in the future. At number 15 is the guy that might call the goal where Alex Ovechkin breaks Wayne Gretzky's record. At number 15, I have Joe Benatti for the Washington Capitals. Those games are broadcasted. They do pretty well with their broadcast. I'm not even sure what their broadcast name is, but Joe Benatti does really well for Washington's broadcast. And yeah, he's basically a local legend for Washington broadcasting. So yeah, I have him at number 15. At number 14, I have another new broadcaster. It's Dan Robertson on TSN for the Winnipeg Jets, replacing a spot from one of the legends for Winnipeg Jets broadcasting. I forget his name, but I know he's a legendary broadcaster. I don't know why I'm forgetting his name. But Dan Robertson coming into that spot, unbelievable. He's done really well so far. And replacing a legend broadcaster's shoes, Dan Robertson himself has done unbelievable for that, for the Winnipeg Jets. At number 13, I have a team that you may put high, you may put a lot low, is the Edmonton Oilers. On Sportsnet, Jack Michaels does the play-by-play, Louis DeBrusque does the color. Jack Michaels, honestly, his style of broadcasting, I kind of try to copy a little bit. I don't copy any broadcasters, but I try not to, at least. But Jack Michaels brings excitement to his game, which I try to bring as well. But yeah, when the Oilers score, he yells, kind of like Chris Ballard style, not that exciting though. But Jack Michaels, he gets a little too over the hump with excitement, but then this year he's been doing really well with the Oilers. And yeah, so Jack Michaels, new play-by-play guy as well for the Oilers. I believe he started in 2021. Yeah, so Jack Michaels has been doing really well. And at number 12, I have Dave Goucher of the Vegas Golden Knights. Their games are broadcasted on Scripps Sports. They're the only guys that do play-by-play, but unlike Altitude Sports, they do actually really well on the broadcast. Dave Goucher, I'm going to call him for now, maybe Goucher, does really well with his broadcast. He makes those games exciting for the Golden Knights. Even though the Golden Knights are an exciting team themselves, Dave Goucher is really good at what he does for the Vegas Golden Knights, really well doing play-by-play as well for the Vegas Golden Knights. And moving on to number 11 and number 10 were two that I kept going back and forth on. At number 11, I have one of my favorite play-by-play guys, but I mean, if you're a regular fan watching this, you're probably like, hey, you can't put him at 1. I have the Columbus Blue Jackets broadcaster Steve Mears at number 11. FanDuel Sports does the Jackets games, and Steve Mears is unbelievable. I don't know why he left Pittsburgh, to be honest with you. And I mean, Pittsburgh's broadcaster now is really good. He'll be coming up soon, but Steve Mears does really well with what he does for the Columbus Blue Jackets. And yeah, just replacing I forget his name again. I forget these local play-by-play guys' names. But I mean, yeah, so anyways, Steve Mears coming into this year, Johnny Gaudreau passing away, unfortunate times, but he stepped into that role and he's been doing really well. Obviously remembering Johnny every day, but yeah, Steve has been doing really well with the Jackets this year, and not only Johnny but Matthew as well. RIP to them. I don't think I've said it on my channel too much, but yeah, those losses are horrible, and rest in peace, and condolences to the Gaudreau family. At number 10, so we're in the top 10. We're almost at the end of this video, a 17-minute video so far. If you're still here, hello, I'm Drew Nye the Hockey Guy. And at number 10 is the Pittsburgh Penguins, and their broadcasts are called Sportsnet Pittsburgh, and it isn't Sportsnet, it's kind of a ripoff of Sportsnet actually, but their play-by-play guy, unbelievable for what he does. New to play-by-play as well, in the NHL at least, that's Josh Getzoff. I watch his games, and man, they are so exciting. They're so exciting. I wanted to put him higher, but the people that are ahead of him, I just find a little too much better. Josh Getzoff, man, he is so exciting to watch. He is a little biased towards the Pittsburgh Penguins, not gonna lie, but he's still really good at what he does for the Pittsburgh Penguins, and hopefully he keeps it up, and hopefully he's with the Pens for a little longer. Maybe if they get the rebuild done with soon, that dynasty could come back and he'll end up calling the games, because that would be unbelievable. He's a championship NHL Stanley Cup Finals caliber broadcaster, Josh Getzoff is. And at number 9, and I'm going to be honest with you, I may be a little biased, I have the Montreal Canadiens, Brian Mudryk doing the play-by-play, and I mean, Brian Mudryk I absolutely love for the Habs. He does really well with what he does. I was thinking about putting him a little higher, but I know there's some people watching this video that are like, he doesn't go any higher. But yeah, Brian Mudryk does really well. But I wanted to notice their color guy, Mike Johnson, absolutely insane. I love his calls, and he's on the World Juniors broadcast for a reason. I love when he tries to like get so excited after like an unreal goal, he'll like scream or something. He almost pulls a Pierre Maguire on goal sometimes. But yeah, Mike Johnson, he's unbelievable with what he does, and so is Brian Mudryk at number 9 for the Montreal Canadiens. At number 8. I think I may have them a bit high, but I know there are a lot of people that like their broadcasts. That's the Florida Panthers. Those games are broadcasted on FanDuel Sports. And their play-by-play is Steve Goldstein. He does really well with what he does. I was so sad that he wasn't able to do their play-by-play in the playoff, well, much in the playoffs at least. But he does really well with what he does for the Florida Panthers, and hopefully he keeps it up. I know he is a little older, so yeah, Steve Goldstein, unbelievable broadcaster, and hopefully he keeps it up for the Florida Panthers because they're a really good team as of late. And at number 7, I have the Toronto Maple Leafs, and as a Habs fan, I don't like putting the Leafs on high lists, but their play-by-play guy is an absolute legend in the business. It's on Sportsnet, and Chris Cuthbert does their play-by-play guy. He is getting a lot old, so he will be retiring soon, not gonna lie. This may be his last year, or maybe next year will be his last. But he's unbelievable. Legend for the Leafs broadcast. He used to do CBC, I believe. TSN broadcast as well. But Chris Cuthbert, unbelievable broadcaster for the Leafs. But I mean, I wanted to give a shout out to Joe Bowen because he's unbelievable as well for the Leafs. He does the radio broadcast. He's really good at what he does for the Leafs. But yeah, Chris Cuthbert doing play-by-play for them, not bad at all at 7, in my opinion at least. At number 6, I have a broadcaster that some people may not put high, but honestly, he's really good. He gets crowd on their feet, gets at least in their houses, and gets the game exciting. I have the Tampa Bay Lightning. Those games are broadcasted on FanDuel Sports, and their play-by-play guy is Dave Randorf. Dave Randorf, unbelievable play-by-play. He's unbelievable with what he does, to be honest with you. Those games, when I see the Lightning are at home, I'm like, oh yes, Dave Randorf will be doing play-by-play tonight. So yeah, I have Dave Randorf at number 6 for the Tampa Bay Lightning. Now, we're moving in the top 5, and this is where it gets hard. There's going to be some people in this in the top 5 here that are just, you're going to be there and you're like, what are you thinking? Or you're going to be like, yeah, that's pretty good. Not that bad. Or you could think they could be higher. Starting at number 5, I have the Chicago Blackhawks. Their broadcasts are broadcasted on CHSN, and their play-by-play guy is Rick Ball, and their color commentator, who's one of the main reasons why they're this high, is Darren Pang. I'm not sure why the Flames ended Rick Ball's contract, because he did unbelievable, or I should say Sportsnet ended his contract, because he's unbelievable with what he does for play-by-play. But Darren Pang's such a funny guy, such a short guy as well. He's like a little elf, I should say. But yeah, he's such a funny guy. He makes the broadcast a lot funny and really fun as well. I remember that one clip, he had that leprechaun like lime drink, I think, in the playoffs or something, and Alexis Lafreniere is looking at him in the bench, and he's drinking it, and he's wearing his leprechaun outfit as well, and Lafreniere's looking at him like, oh, okay. He was a little confused. But I mean, yeah, Rick Ball, Darren Pang at number 5, I think that's pretty good. There may be people that think that's higher, there may be people that think that's lower. I'm not sure. At number 4, I have a broadcaster who is probably one of the most legendary broadcasters in the NHL. If it isn't Rick Jeanneret, it's Dan Rosen of the New York Rangers. Those games are broadcasted on MSG, and the Rangers I have at number 4 for Dan Rosen. This is his last year. I believe next year he'll be getting replaced by Kenny Albert, who isn't bad at all. I love Kenny Albert, to be honest with you. He's really good at what he does for play-by-play. But Sam Rosen. I don't know why I messed up his name. Sam Rosen, unbelievable play-by-play guy for the New York Rangers. And yeah, he's going to live on as a New York Rangers broadcasting legend. This one's going to be a lifetime. When the Rangers won the Cup in '94, that was an unbelievable call. But you all know his famous call. It's a power play goal. That's his best right there. It's a power play goal. And Jacob Trouba said it himself once when he scored on the power play. But yeah, he's really good at what he does for the play-by-play for the Rangers. And now we're in the top 3. And at number 3, I have a rival of the Montreal Canadiens. Not Boston, not Toronto. It's a little rival, but the Ottawa Senators, based off their play-by-play guy, all alone. They have Jamie McLennan doing their color commentary. This is on TS. The broadcasts are on TSN, not TNN. I don't know what that is. But their play-by-play guy is Gord Miller. You know Gord Miller. You gotta be honest. If you don't know who Gord Miller is, watching this, get out. Because Gord Miller is a legend with TSN. And even if you don't watch TSN games in the States, you still watch his broadcast from the World Juniors. Gord Miller was mainly World Juniors from the start, but he's been doing unbelievable broadcasts for the Ottawa Senators. It seems like when Leafs broadcasts go on, he'll be the guy doing play-by-play for them. But yeah, I just absolutely love what Gord Miller does. Not only does he put the crowd on their feet, gets the crowd excited, but he puts on a good show as well for them. Jamie McLennan as well does really well in the color. And now we're in number 2 and we're in number 1. And at number 2, I have a team that you probably think could get number 1 is the Seattle Kraken. Their broadcasts are on this website or broadcast called Kong. It's a weird name. It probably stands for something. But they have John Forslund doing their play-by-play. I mean, he's doing the prime games as well. He's doing absolutely unbelievable for them. Unbelievable for prime, I should say. But yeah, John Forslund, when he does those Kraken games, can put on an awesome show. The hey, what do you say? Or it's a power play goal. No, it's a power play goal. That's hockey, baby. Those are two that are just unbelievable. And then finally, at number 1, we have the Detroit Red Wings with Ken Daniels, Mickey Redmond on FanDuel Sports Network. Mickey Redmond is unbelievable with his color, absolutely funny himself. And then Ken Daniels, I'm out of words for what Ken Daniels can do. You want to watch a broadcast where Ken Daniels is doing play-by-play because he'll get the crowd exciting. He'll get the people watching online exciting as well. But man, Ken Daniels, Mickey Redmond, that duo. When Larry Murphy goes on that broadcast, it just isn't the same. Mickey Redmond, Ken Daniels, Detroit Red Wings broadcast on FanDuel Sports at number 1. That's it for today's video, guys. It's probably a longer video, so if you're still here, thank you for watching today's video. If you guys enjoyed it, you can like this video, you can subscribe if you really liked it. We're on the road to 300 subscribers, so if you can hit that subscribe button down below, I'd really appreciate it. That's it for today's video, guys, and I'll talk to you all again soon.